So Pranam and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second day of this three-part series of Dil Se. And I'm so glad that Daaji has been able to take time to restart these interactions, that help us obviously to learn a lot more about heartfulness, but also keep us really focused on our practice. And it's been helping me personally a lot. I also wanted to say that please do take the time to listen in to yesterday's session between Daaji and Professor Phoebe, who is actually the UN ambassador of the Sustainable Development Goals, and she is a representative of Europe. I found the conversation very insightful, and they went over very many relevant topics, like the difference between happiness and pleasure. Daaji also spoke about the root cause of pollution and inequities in the context of SDGs, by saying that he believes that the underlying factor is basically greed and also a lot of thought pollution. So if we all can come together to regulate our minds, then the world can obviously be a much better place and we won't have to tackle so many other external problems like we are currently facing. And they spoke about many other important topics like this that the world is currently struggling with. So please do listen in on the Heartfulness YouTube channel. I'm sure you really enjoy the discussion. Today, we have a very exciting session as well. We will be talking about an extremely grave issue that the corporate world has been facing even pre-pandemic, and it has obviously caught up a lot more post-pandemic. As you all know, working conditions have changed drastically, with hybrid work and many more responsibilities coming on when you work from home. So, burnouts are on the rise, and that is a leading problem in the lack of, I would say, overall wellness and also poor mental health. And as you all know, Daaji is a great advocate of research to show scientifically the immense impact that meditation has on our minds and bodies. So to forward our efforts, here at Heartfulness in managing this global challenge, I'm really happy to share that, we successfully conducted a 12-week research study called The Science of Meditation, that focused on how heartfulness helps reduction in stress, specifically in bank employees. And we did this with the support of the Union Bank officers. Many of the senior ones have joined us for this session. So, I welcome you all. And, I think it's immense that you were able to partner with us on this. We'd also earlier done some work on this along with the Institute of Chartered Accountancy, and this research is actually publicly available. It was published. It's called The Effectiveness of Scientific Meditation on Employee Burnout. Please do take the time to go through it. I think it has some incredible insights. I had a quick look over it, and a lot of our research participants, with the help of Heartfulness, saw that there was reduced burnouts and there was also, increased emotional well-being. So please do take the time to read it as well. And I would also like to take the time, to talk about the research that was also done at the Institute in Noida. So once again, welcome you all, and thank you for all the participants for really taking the time and agreeing to be part of, such an important research, because without your participation, we would have not been able to get these insights. So thank you so much. And I think Daaji has already joined us. So Pranam, Daaji.
Pranams to all. Thank you.
So I will, kick off the session by, just, I would say, acknowledging a few people who have been playing a critical role in a lot of these research efforts that we've been having. The CMD of the Union Bank, and also, Mr. Nidhu Saxena, who's the executive director, Mr. Suraj Srivastava, many senior leadership of the UCO Bank. Also Mr. Satish Wagnu and Arvind Mishra, who's the DG and DGM and GM of the Indian Bank. And we also have many others from the Madhya Pradesh Police, and also, of Tata Metallics or Tata Steel Group, along with some college students from Telangana who are actually present in Kanha themselves. So just, as an opening question, since our heartfulness practitioner, Pradeep Gupta ji, has been very instrumental in these researches, sir, would you like to just share a few insights, that you've had, and then we can sort of pass it over to a few questions that our participants have. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pragya, sister. It has been a very wonderful journey under the guidance of Revered Daaji. And it came to me as an incident when the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India study was conducted. And it was conducted under our Heartfulness research leader, Dr. Jairam and Veda Prasanna, and of course under the guidance of Daaji. It went well. Then we conducted a study for Satyam Group of Institutions Noida. That also went well. More than 250 girl students participated in it, and research studies in the process. And third study we have taken up, that is for the Union Bank of India under the very able guidance of Sri Nitesh Ranjanji, who is the Executive Director of the Union Bank of India. He has already joined this meeting. So I welcome all the Union Bank of India officers, and they have been very cooperative to this research study, and that study has been conducted very successfully, and evaluation report is under process. So I thank you all the Union Bank officers, and also we have with us Dr. Sikha Darwari, who is a very senior IAS officer and is the Principal Commissioner of Income Tax at Delhi. Welcome, madam. And we also have with us Snehi Singh, who is the chairperson of Satyam Group of Institutions. So back to you, sister.
Thank you so much, Pradeep ji, and welcome again to everyone. And, since Nitesh Ranjan ji, who's the Executive Director of Union Bank of India, has joined us, so I would like to, hand it over to you to ask the first question to Daaji.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Daaji, and everybody from Heartfulness Institute. It's indeed an honor that you identified and given the opportunity to Union Bank staff to participate through this. In fact, I would really be expressing my gratitude to Pradeep Gupta ji, who introduced this to Union Bank of India. And I also attended many sessions, and I have a feedback from our people also that they have immensely benefited. And I understand that some of them actually are attending these programs along with their family members because they are seeing the value in it. But Daaji, I would actually like to put before you two things, not a question. One is that in our professional life, whether as a banker or other professional, we face many challenges, and every day we are chasing one or the other target. One is achieved, then we are chasing the other one. It's a continuous exercise. And then also that we meet so many people, one meeting, shifting from one meeting to another meeting. So I would just like to know, Daaji, that how do we keep ourselves balanced in such environment? And secondly, also that in everyday life, so many people help us touch our lives. And it's very difficult to pay our gratitude to everyone in person. So how actually we should actually pay gratitude and feel ourselves really that yes, we have thanked them. So these are the two things I would like your views, respected Daaji. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, this evening for joining us. It's quite a pleasure seeing so many of you and discussing on yoga and research and the outcome of it. Before I go into answering two questions posed, I keep wondering about the scientific research on yoga. Why are we doing this? We are doing scientific study of yoga practices, anything and everything related to yoga, and especially heartfulness meditation, which is supported by pranahuti, and how a simple ordinary meditation differs from a meditation done with pranahuti. What is the striking difference? Of course, when people practice right from the first session, we are all experience the difference before we sit and after the meditation session is over, what becomes of our consciousness? We are all witness to it. So we really don't need a proof via scientific study. Scientific study is done only to convince the scientific mind that yes, yoga is effective, yoga can transform our lives, yoga can make us peaceful, yoga can bring us stress-free, yoga can liberate us into many different dimensions. And as we practice day after day, we understand that, especially when I watch myself and witness my friends. We studied, my classmates, we started sometime in 1974, the first year of pharmacy. But 2 years later, I started this meditation. And many years have passed since 1976. And when I do see my friends now and then, meet them, talk with them, and see the difference over 40 years, how meditation has changed the lives of people who have been meditating with this system and those who have not been meditating at all. You can see the change in quality of their lives. And it will not be absurd to say that moment you begin meditation with Pranahuti, you are on a faster track of evolution, which otherwise would take millions of years for you to evolve your consciousness. But within a very short time, you can see how your consciousness changes. But the key thing is, we need to meditate regularly. Spend 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, 5 minutes before you go to sleep. It's not much when you are talking of saving millions of years of evolution. You are on a fast track. Some people do argue, sir, I don't have time. I am so and so, I'm so and so, I'm so busy. But Mahatma Gandhi used to say, if you listen to his argument, if you are really, really busy, then meditation can give you more time. When you are at your busiest time, meditate, you will save a lot of time. Why and how? But when you do meditate in the morning, not only you are thinking of the presence of divinity, but you are scanning through what you are going to do during the daytime. And some of the faces or activities or the plans that may come to your mind. And immediately you have the solutions in your mind, even before you attend the meetings. Often, you will come to realize that I don't need to attend this meeting at all. Even before the meeting, you understand this is a useless meeting. Why should I meet this person? It's a waste of time. So meditation gives us clarity of what to do and what not to do. So my friends and dear elders, please meditate. And especially when you don't have time, you must meditate and see how it finds time for you. Coming back to this question on stress, how busy one can be, and how to lead a stress-free life. Again, I would like to give a small example for my pharmacy business days. I started first pharmacy in 1984 in Brooklyn, New York. And we used to have a lot of interns who would practice in the pharmacy right after graduation. It was mandatory that interns completes 2,000 hours within a year if they want to get a license to practice. So they used to come to our pharmacy, and often you would see them working slowly, complaining all the time, getting tired too fast, taking longer hours, coming late, going early, skipping days, calling sick. All these things used to happen while they were doing their internship. But as we become familiar towards each other, and when I offer them a permanent job, once they get the license, even while working on a permanent basis, practicing as a pharmacist, this trend would continue. So much of work is there. I'm filling so many prescriptions. I'm doing so much of work, billing, calling insurance, calling doctors, and this complaint would continue. But the day I offer them the ownership of the pharmacy, I make them the partners, their attitude changes all of a sudden. They come early to work, they smile a lot, they don't take long breaks, they go late home. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? What is in it for me? When you do understand what is in it for me, and when you have a sense of belonging to an institution, all your stress will go away. When you think this is mine, ownership is there. You see the difference between a mother looking after her own child and looking after somebody else's child. There's a big difference. नई नई बहू भी घर पे आती है, शुरुआत में क्या होता है, अपनापन नहीं होता है, अपनापन धीरे धीरे डेवलप होता है, and it takes many years. अपनापन, जब तक अपनापन हम महसूस नहीं करेंगे तब तक स्ट्रेस ही स्ट्रेस रहेगा. Whether I'm working for someone or I'm running someone else's business, whenever the sense of I'm working for someone and somebody else is benefiting from it, you are shortchanging yourself. You will apply less force, less energy, less enthusiasm in your work. But when we elevate our consciousness and say, whatsoever I do, I must do it perfectly as best as I can with a lot of joy. And if you have grudge, if you have tension, if you have stress and you continue working, what becomes of your health? Instead, when you work joyfully, see what happens. While eating also, when you have a fight with your wife or someone and you're eating, what happens to your mood and your digestion? But when you do eat joyfully, relishing it, happily eating because my wife has cooked for me, she worked hard for it, then you'll smile and your health will also improve. Your emotional health will also skyrocket. Your relationship will also improve. I give you another example from my standpoint as an owner of a business. Whenever we have employees, we have full-timers, we have part-timers, we have extra-timers. Whom do you like the most? Not the person who is working double hours or triple hours, but the person who works with a lot of joy, keeps smiling, who is happy working. You can trust such people. They don't give you stress. They are happy themselves. They radiate joy. In fact, when you are yourself tired and such employees meet you, you feel happy. And when such an employee asks, "Sir, can I have vacation for 2 weeks?" Immediately you say, "Why 2 weeks? Go for a month, enjoy it." Because you're happy in your heart to have such people who are working as a family. Imagine your working hours, 8 to 10 hours you are spending in work environment. 8 hours you sleep. 4 hours you waste in travel. How much time do you have for your children and your spouse? And whatever time you have with your children and spouse, what do you do during that time? You may be sitting with them, but with your phones on, you're watching TV, or children are doing something in their own privacy. Where is the family life? But instead, when everyone wakes up together, meditates together, even if you sit together for 15 minutes, as all family members sits for meditation together, even for 15 minutes, that will unite you in a very, very special way. Similarly, in the evening, you do your prayers, offer your prayers, or you meditate once again in the evening together, and see the kind of atmosphere it can create. So that short time we have with family members, it can be a quality time. But what about the longest time we spend? 8 to 10 hours, sometimes 12 to 14 hours in office. We spend more time with our colleagues than our family. Should we not make our life livelier, more productive, more joyful in work environment? Instead of hating the work and postponing everything that comes across your way. So all the problems can be resolved very simply by attending it and finishing it. Don't postpone for things again and again, again and again. And when we remain meditative with a calm mind, peaceful mind, you are able to make decisions very fast. What was the second question? I forgot already.
Pradeep ji, you're on mute.
It was how to express gratitude to the people who help.
To?
How to express gratitude who help.
So say thank you. Hug them, kiss them if you like. How do you express your gratitude to your wife?
Sure, Daaji. Nitesh ji, yes. Sorry, go ahead, Daaji.
No, that's all. I think I've said enough.
Sure. I hope your question was answered, Nitesh ji, but I think I learned a lot, at least in my workplace, on how creating a nurturing environment which has a sense of belonging will lead to obviously people working a lot more joyfully, and meditation can really play a key role in creating that environment. So thank you so much again for joining us and asking your question. I'll move over to the second question to Dr. Shikha Darwari, who is from the IRS and is the PR Commissioner of Income Tax. Shikha ji, please do ask your question, and thank you for joining us.
We're meeting after many years, right, Shikha ji? Almost 6-7 years. Huh? Acha, okay. You need to unmute yourself. It's not ready yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
Namaskar. Yes, we are meeting after a long time.
Yes.
And thanks to Pradeep Gupta ji, he keeps sending your blessings to me indirectly.
Yes.
So all brothers and sisters, sabhi ko dil se naman. And coming directly to my question, Daaji, revered Babuji used to say that love carries one to a very high level. And in general, all the spiritual practices, they also guide us, and they say that that we should be seeing loving divinity in all the living beings. But when we see our workplace, so in the day-to-day life, when we, especially in the income tax and the administrative setup, what we see that people who are not respecting the rules, who are not respecting the protocols, they have their own vested interest. They try to bend system for everything. And for their vested interest, they are against the system also. So how to control your anger towards them and have a feeling of love towards such people? Because we know that we should feel united with all such souls, but then because in the back of your mind you have their way of doing things which is not appropriate as per the system, so naturally you develop some kind of anger to against such system. So how to control such anger and see what you said, feeling of apnapan towards such people also?
Well, I think अपनों पे ही, अपनों से ही और अपनों पर ही हमको ज्यादा गुस्सा आता है। हमेशा देखो आप, आपके पतिदेव की हालत देखो आपसे, राइट? आपके बच्चों की हालत देखो, वो तो अपनी ही है। जितना गुस्सा ज्यादा, उतना समझ लो बहुत अपना ही है वो सही। लेकिन ऑफिसर्स में हम इतना गुस्सा नहीं करते हैं क्योंकि हम डरते हैं उनसे, कंप्लेन जाएगी, वो नाखुश हो जाएगा। होने दो, जो झूठ है तो झूठ है। आपकी पोजीशन पे मैं होता तो मैं भी गुस्सा तो करूंगा ही। गुस्सा वो नेचुरल है। गुस्सा आप नहीं करोगे तो उनका सुधार कैसे लाओगे आप? तो बाबूजी कहते हैं गुस्सा एक नेचुरल चीज है, उसको निकालना नहीं है, उसका सदुपयोग करना है। उसको दिल को मत लगने दो। किसी पे गुस्सा करना है, बड़े दिल से गुस्सा करो, बाद में चुप हो जाओ, अपने में फिर से मालिक में जुड़ जाओ, लेकिन दिल पे उसका असर मत होने दो। हाउ बाबूजी से प्रिटेंड दैट यू आर एंग्री, है ना? लाकड़ी मत मारो, लेकिन लकड़ी तो दिखा सकते हैं आप।
Sure.
But it happens that you do not develop the kind of affection and love for them, because those people who are not following such system.
Yes.
So the kind of love you have for others, you don't have for them.
That is natural. That is also very natural. नाखुशी हो जाती है। इनफैक्ट ऐसे लोगों पे दया आती है, क्योंकि उन लोगों की बर्बादी अपनी नजर में तुरंत आ जाती है कि ये बर्बाद होने ही वाला है और होने ही वाली है। उनके लिए प्रार्थना करो, लेकिन जो बुरा काम करते हैं ना, उसको आपकी पोजीशन पे ऐसी है, उनकी दादी को याद करवा दो आप। ऐसी पनिशमेंट करो कि बाद में फिर से बुरा काम न करने की चेष्टा करे। Punishment, reward and punishments are the keys. Use them wisely. Reward good workers, punish bad ones. There is nothing wrong with it.
Makes sense. Thank you, Shikhaji. Daaji, we also have Shri Harsha Bhatt, who's the director and VP of NIT, and they've had a very long association with Heartfulness. So, sir, I would first like to ask you if you want to share anything about your association with us, and then, of course, please go ahead and ask your question. And thank you for joining us.
Pranam Daaji, and good evening, everybody. My name is Sri Harsha Bhatt. I'm associated with an institute called NITE. NITE Education International is a part of an education conglomerate called NITE University based in Mangalore, a coastal city in the southern part of the country. Let me tell you my own association with Heartfulness before I talk a bit about how my institute is associated with Heartfulness. I have been associated with Heartfulness since early 2015, which is about 7.5 years now. Thanks to Sri Charan Singh ji, who was the then the executive director of UCO Bank, with whom our institute had a very close association at that time in imparting banking related training program. We are a B2B banking training institute, having association with about 17 different banks in this country. So I'm indebted to Sri Charan Singh ji for doing this task of introducing me to Heartfulness. I still remember it was about 9 in the morning. I was snoring to the glory. He pulled me out of my room and took me to the first session. I think since then I'm kind of closely associated with Heartfulness. I came back from Calcutta after the training program. I decided to introduce Heartfulness as a regular feature in our training institute or in our academy in our Mangalore and Greater Noida campus. April 2015 is when we started this as part of our curriculum for all the bankers who come to our institute for training. I'm very happy to say that so far about 1,500 plus trainees of our institute have taken active part in the Heartfulness initiative. All these 1,500 are responsible bankers working in several public and private sector banks as managers and executives serving the nation. So it's been a pleasure to be associated with Heartfulness. I have personally benefited loads from this. And I feel very happy, when I hear the participants who moved from our institute who are serving the nation, working for various banks, write to us, write to their respective faculty members, how they are utilizing the lessons learned from the Heartfulness initiative, that is being given to them during their stay in our institute. So we have a team of Heartfulness trainers in Greater Noida and Mangalore who visit our campus very regularly. And I take this opportunity to thank them wholeheartedly, and I look forward for the continued association with Heartfulness. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I wish you can also, before they graduate out of your institution, make sure they subscribe Heartfulness Magazine, the digital copies which are for free. They can download our Hearts app. So when somebody in their family or in circle or a good customer comes in the bank, and baat mein jab we talk of meditation, you can always ask them to meditate with you. Though, excuse me. We take sittings from preceptors face to face. But all of a sudden, when at noon time, when you have a break and you're an employee at the bank, you're discussing things with your, colleagues or with a new customer, and you start talking of meditation and they get interested. But you're not a preceptor. How to make them start immediately, the very same moment? So use that app. What that app will do is connect you with a preceptor. And that preceptor can remotely give you guys a sitting and make you experience. So a few things you can do. Another thing I like you to teach, them is polarity. Polarity is very helpful, especially when someone is sick in your family. You can't sleep at night. Since you have already learned polarity during that session, you can teach your family members also how to apply this polarity technique. For example, when you yourself are not able to sleep, you can request your spouse, do this polarity on me, I'd like to sleep. So in less than 5 minutes, you'll fall flat. You'll begin snoring, actually. So each participant at faculty or all those who are listening, I wish you all learn, besides meditation, polarity. And technique of polarity becomes very potent with your meditative mind. So they go together, actually. I give you a very, my personal experience also. It's not that I don't find it difficult. I mean, I do find difficult to sleep sometimes. Once or twice a month, I do struggle. Even though I close my eyes, meditate, and it begins. For 2-3 hours, I will just lie down in the bed. Sometimes it will go on till 2 o'clock at night. And I'm so fresh at that time. But you need to sleep. Though you are so fresh and you don't need to sleep, but you are forced to sleep so that, in morning, you wake up fresh. Mind requires some level of freshness. So I would request someone to remotely or in person give me polarity, and it helps me go to sleep. I'm sure it will help many people. I cite you another example, how it helps during sickness. Suppose your loved one is sick in ICU or hospitalized or at home recuperating. Polarity will accelerate the recovery. I have seen many cases where they were so much stressed. People with cancer, anyone would get stressed hearing of cancer. But polarity, I think it gives you so much of peace. Meditation, of course, it removes the a lot of other issues related to sickness and samskaras. But polarity balances our energy level. Energy aura or pranamaya kosha is affected because of this polarity treatment. Anyway, so few things you can incorporate. Teaching at institutions, polarity is one. Meditation, antakaran suddhi, meaning cleaning, downloading, how to use the app, practically making people go through this app and how to make use of this app. It can be half-hour session for people. Magazine you can download because some great articles are available, Heartfulness Magazine, which you can share. Some of the articles are so touching that you feel like sharing the same with your children. And I do still remember my childhood in late 50s and 60s. My father, he would read some stories. I'm not talking bedtime stories. Whenever a magazine came home, he would loudly read it. Everybody would hear it. Something would hit your head and say, okay, this is interesting story. Some jokes will also go a long way with your children. Don't keep preaching your children. Share some nice stories and jokes from magazines. Share your meditation experiences with them so they get inspired. But if you are busy with your phones, they are busy with their phones. This knowledge transfer, wisdom transfer will never happen. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay.
Yes.
One last question.
Yes, Daaji, I was just going to ask you, since you seem to be a little uncomfortable. So we will just go to the Calcutta youth, then their network isn't very good. So I'm just going to ask their question on behalf of them. One question is from Kamal, and he says, sometimes impressions are formed because of others' actions. So how do we control them?
Either you develop so much of sensitivity, and that is possible through right understanding. Classical example is, I often quote Rama and Sita, Mother Sita. Their astrological predictions were so good when Vishwamitra and sage Vasistha, when they were consulted by Raja Dasarath, the future of Lord Rama and Mother Sita, they said they are the best couple. Nothing can go wrong in their life. Moreover, they being avatars, they didn't have any previous impressions or previous sanskaras or baggage. Yet anything or everything that can go wrong in their life went wrong. Right? They had to go to forest. Rama had to abandon his wife, make her go through various tests. That was quite frustrating, actually. And all this because of whom? Their destiny was influenced, but not by anybody else, but by their mother, Kai, stepmother. She decided that her own son should become the king, and for 14 years, Ram should go to forest. It's all right that your son Bharat can become the king, but why send that poor fellow to forest? That is not understandable. But she took the advantage of the promise that was given by the king Dasrath. And their tradition was Prana jaye par vachan nahi jaye. All nonsense. Ramayana suffered because of this Prana jaye but vachan na jaye. See? Similar thing, Mahabharata. Bhishma, so proud of keeping up his promise of protecting Hastinapur. He could have protected with Pandavas, associating with Pandavas. He could have better protected it. But no. He was loyal to a throne, not to an individual. So when you do realize that the promise that I made is not in the right interest of everyone, then it is okay to break the promise. I have to make my heart so generous. I have to make my mind so full of understanding that I don't form the impressions. Most of the time, I form the impression because of misunderstanding. Someone says, someone jokes. I have to understand that it's just a joke. Don't take it to your heart. But some people say, oh no, वो तो मजाक ही करता रहता है, मेरी मस्करी करता है, making fun of me. So this creates impressions about person. We misjudge a person afterward. And if you have this forgiving attitude, you will not accumulate anything at all. Bad things may form impression, but even good things forms the impressions. It is said, बंधन तो बंधन ही है, whether लोहे की चेन हो या सोने की चेन हो, बंधन तो बंधन ही है, right? उसको छोड़ेंगे कैसे? It is easy to break away from the bad thing. How you gonna break away from good thing? Because it is so enchanting. Again, One by one, if you try to remove sanskars, it's going to be very difficult. But as Babuji says, you turn your head from here to here, or just with a snap of your finger, or as Lalaji says, with the blink of an eye, you can move from here to there. During that moment, that very special moment when you're making a quantum leap in your consciousness, what becomes of those sanskars, whether you have earned it or somebody else forced onto you? It is like this. Whether, the only example that comes to my mind, how do you remove the darkness from your room? Do you remove little by little, 1 liter of darkness now, 2 liters later, 10 liters? No. You turn the switch on or take a mombatti or a candle, and that's it. All our practices are meant to bring about such light in our life. And this equivalent of light, comparable in our life, is awareness. Moment you become aware, darkness, sanskars, disappears. With right understanding, the burden of guilt also dissolves. That's why we often make this sankalpa that may all sisters and brothers throughout the world develop 3 things: correct thinking, right understanding, and honest approach to life. If I have correct thinking and right understanding, most of my problems will go away. Existing problem. And having honest approach to life, it is like vaccination. You will not form any bad tendencies because you are so honest in your approach to life. So these 3 sankalpas take care of past and present and future. So answering it briefly, increase the awareness through meditation, through cleaning, surrendering yourself little by little, or in one quantum jump.
Thank you, Daji. Thank you for that. So over to you, Daji. What would you like to do now since we've wrapped up all the questions?
And now we can close our eyes and go within ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll meditate now. Okay. Please start meditation. That's all. I like to revisit a question that was posed by one of the youth, Kamal from Kolkata. I was reminded of one gentleman's complaint to Babuji Maharaj during the meditation. It's narrated in My Master, written by Chariji. That person, having spent considerable time in Shahjahanpur with Babuji Maharaj, he went out on some official work to Bareilly. So they went by car from Shahjahanpur to Bareilly. In the city, there was a big hoarding on some movie, and one of the actresses was posing in a very provocative way. So this Abhyasi, very senior Abhyasi, who had just met Master, spent few months together with Babuji. All of a sudden, he looks at that provocative actress hanging, her picture hanging on kind of inviting. Can you blame that photograph for creating impressions in you? It's a mere photograph. Sometimes some people speak something and it affects you. We are living in a world which is more dangerous than a person wearing a beautiful white shirt, entering the coal mine and trying to escape without a speck of coal dust on your shirt. It's not going to happen. You will be affected to some extent, but this impact can be reduced. And I like to share one couplet which explains everything. मैं बच जाता, शायद कभी मुझ में यादों का पहरा होता। यादों का पहरा होना बहुत आवश्यक है। यादों का पहरा हट जाएगा तो इम्प्रेशन एक के बाद आती ही रहेगी। So to protect ourselves from outside influence, this is one requirement. जिनको हम हिंदी में बहुत अच्छा शब्द है, कवच। यादों का कवच लगा दिया तो प्रोटेक्ट रहेंगे हम। और हर आदमी को same thing may not be attractive. When you go to buy, let us say half a dozen friends, you go for shopping, and you go to a department for perfumes. There is Polo, there is Nautica, there is Estee Lauder, there is so much of choices. Would everyone choose the same thing? Life would have been much easier if there was only one perfume for everybody in the whole world. One sari pattern for everybody. Luckily, there is only one dhoti per man. See, there's not. So the ability to influence you is not in the outside object. Onus of giving the credit or the blame to others is always on yourself. Can't blame others for creating some scars in you. That is escapist attitude. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, and looking forward to seeing you again very soon. Pranams.
Thank you, Daaji. Thank you so much. I just want to end the session with saying, we have our session tomorrow as well at 5:30 p.m., the Dil Se session. So, please, all of you do join in. And again, thank you for taking the time to join the session today, and all of our partners who have supported us in this very significant research in tackling this issue of burnout. And one last thing, which is, as you're Daaji has been talking a lot about wisdom today, and we do have the book, The Wisdom Bridge, coming out, which is around the 9 principles to raise resilient children and happy families. And so I think, already we have the first chapter that Daaji has been very kind to share around. So please do go ahead and pre-order your books. Whatever I've read of it, it's pretty incredible and a lot to learn. So please do go book your pre-order of the book as soon as possible. I'm sure you have the links in your emails, otherwise you'll be receiving it soon. So just wanted to, and yeah, the slide is right here. So please do take the time to pre-order the book. And thank you again, Daaji, for all your time. I wish these conversations would go on forever, because you give us so much renewed energy to focus a lot more on our practice. And, you put in so much effort, and there's so much gratitude for all your time. So thank you so much, Daaji. See you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.